Howdy, Possum Patty here, and I'm junk journaling. And this is my Christmas in July junk journal. I'm going to call it a Cosmic Smash book because I plan on putting a whole bunch of different things in here. And I've been working on the cover, and this is the back, and this is the front. And yesterday I was waiting for the glitter glue to dry because I sparkled up my trees and I put on some stickers. And now I need to work on the spine, because if I don't get this together, it will be Christmas time by the time I get this done. Now I'm going to make sure I've got these the right side up. Okay, that's the back, and that's the front. And now I'm going to put on the spine. And the spine, I think I measured this yesterday, was what, 4.5 inches wide, and I cut a piece of mailing envelope. Save your happy mail envelopes. And the mailing envelope, I cut it about 3 inches wider so I can overlap 1.5 inches on each side, because this is how I'm going to attach the spine. Moving some junk out of the way here. I need to clean up to the covers. So first I'm going to make sure everything is facing in the right direction, and then I'm going to place my spine in the middle and leave just a little tiny space there to give it a little flexibility when you open and close. I don't want it spaced too tightly because then it's hard to move, and you don't want it too loose either because then it'll be all flopping around. So I am going to just cover this with some glue. You can get a whole pack of Tyvek envelopes on Amazon. They're not too expensive. Or maybe you can find them at the Dollar Tree. I don't know. I'm using my Tack. I want this to be pretty strong because the spine gets a lot of use. And the last 3 nights I started working on this. I haven't gotten very far, but every night we had a thunderstorm for 3 nights in a row. And probably, I don't know, inch or more, 1.25 inches rain from those storms. And today we're having Tropical Storm Elsa, and on top of the inch of rain we just had, we got another 3 inches. So our rain bucket has over 4 inches of rain in it, and that doesn't count the other 2 storms we had. I don't know, because we just had like 2 inches of rain the other day. The ground is saturated, and some trees came down just to the north of us, and our electricity is blinking on and off, but we haven't lost power yet. Okay, now I'm going to be covering the inside here, so I'm not too worried about what that looks like. I'm going to flip it over, make sure I got the proper amount of space here. That space looks a little big. Don't want that space too big. Just a little bit of a space. It's sticking already. How about this side? This side of space is too big too. I don't know how they do that so big. Okay. Move that a little closer. Flip it back over. You just want a little space there and there. Right there and right there. A little bit of a space. Okay, now I was going to cover this with blue material, which I have here somewhere. This way, I believe. And I want it to overlap. Let's see. I want it to overlap the green on this side to there. And on the back, I wanted to leave some green. Like an edge over there. So this has to be about that big. Rip. Okay, let's see now. That seems about right that way. And should I fold this over? I guess I could fold it over on both sides. A little bit like that. I don't want this white showing though. I think that'll do good. It's already picking up. I didn't put enough in the corner. Put a little bit there. I'm almost out of Fabri-Tac. And then I'll put a piece on the inside. After I decide what I'm going to put there. Okay, so put the wrinkle in the back. Put the wrinkle in the back. So just like that. Okay, now I need to glue this down. And let's see. So use the Fabri-Tac. Sometimes the Fabri-Tac leaves like a dark streak on your material. I don't really like that. So let's see what happens here. Another thing about the Fabri-Tac is it really stinks. Ooh, fumes. Oops, a lot of glue there. Ugh. Pluck, 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 pluck. Sometimes I run my fingers in that little seam there. See where it is. Alrighty. And on this side, I'm gonna glue this over. And Mr. Possum just yelled, "It stopped raining." So I think the storm is moving away. And I'm going to do it down here. I got lots of puddles in the yard. I told Mr. Possum we need to get a duck, because we got lots of puddles every time it rains. And there's my bird clock. And it is the northern mockingbird. It sings like 7 different songs all in a row. Much longer than what's on the clock. And sometimes it sings like the other birds. And once in Pennsylvania, I thought I had a catbird in the yard. But it was just the mockingbird singing like a catbird. Well, that's coming out pretty good. Some glue along the edge. Because I always put lots and lots of glue. Now I'm going to put this lace all across here, but I don't think I want to do that before I sew in the signatures. So I'm going to have to wait on that. Okay, on this side, I was going to put July. So I'm gonna go off camera just for a minute and cut this calendar page, because this is July, down. Let's see. I'm gonna have a little piece of material here. Okay, I'm gonna cut this down to size. Okay, I'm just gonna glue this down. And I'm thinking about what I want to put on the back cover and which material I want to use to cover the spine. Maybe I'll keep the calendar theme going and put a calendar page on the back. So should I use a summer theme or a Christmas theme? See, the outside is all Christmas. The inside signatures are going to be Christmas and summer. So like I said, it's going to be a cosmic smash book. Christmas memories. Current journaling. Maybe some nature journaling. Okay, I'm just going to line this up. Oh, got glue on it. Glue all over my hands. Okay. So far, so good. That's how you make a book. It's a pretty big one. Okay, let me think about what I want to put here. I pulled this image off of one of these calendars, and this is by the artist Dana Haycock in Maine. And each month is on a separate poster, and there's also images on the pack that it comes in, these gorgeous colors that I can use to die cut things with or make pockets. So I bought a stack of these at a yard sale, I think for $5, and I'm putting them to good use. So I'm just going to glue this down the way I glued on the front image, and then I'm going to pick out a piece of material. Well, as you can see, I decided to go with a sunny summer feel for the inside of the journal. And I've got my green-eyed Susans over here in my July calendar. So I think to cover the spine, I'm going to use this sunflower batik material that I got at a yard sale for cheap, cheap, cheap. And I'm just going to glue that down right now. Probably use this Tack again. Might as well empty this bottle up. I'm going to have to get another one. Which means I'll have to go shopping. Ooh, stinkola. You don't have to worry about this too much because you're not going to see very much of this. Put my fingers in the crease there. Well, now, starting to look like a book, isn't it? Wow, look how wide I made that. Very interesting. Why did I make it so big? I don't know. I don't know why I do things. Okay, well, lots of room to fill it up, I guess. Well, I wasn't going to sew in the signatures, but now I'm thinking I want to sew in the signatures. So the first thing I do is to find a piece of paper. And hold on, I gotta find paper. When I was measuring to see where these 4 signatures were going to go, it seemed to me that I would have to space them out a little bit too far apart. And I didn't like that space right there. I didn't like how it looked. So I went ahead off camera and made 1 more signature. So now instead of 4 signatures, I have 5. It's going to take me forever to fill up this journal, but that's okay. That's okay. So I need to divide this space up into 5 even spaces to sew these in. So one way of doing that, and I know this paper is too small, but just as a demo, is to, let me cut this edge. Scissors. I can't wait to start journaling. It's taken me forever to make this cover. Cut it to size, and then fold it into thirds, like so. So this is if you want 5 signatures. Instead of measuring it all out and doing that kind of stuff. You fold it into thirds, and then you fold it into half. And you would think 3 times 2, you would get 6 lines, but you don't. When you open it up, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 evenly spaced lines. And those are going to go right there. So this is the one I did to size. And I have 5 places to put signatures. And then for where I'm going to put the holes, I measured like 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch from the top and the bottom, and then I evenly spaced 2 inches because I didn't want the top to be too far down, the first stitch. So 3/4 and 3/4 up from the bottom, and then the other ones are going to be 2 inches apart. So everywhere I have these little X's, I have to poke a hole. So this is my binding kit. And there's my pokey tool. And usually I use this waxed thread, which is pretty heavy, works really good. But I was thinking of using embroidery yarn. I don't know how this is going to work, but it might work okay, right? Pretty strong. I'm going to try this. I'm going to pick out some colors. Well, I'm going to do the holes first, but then I'm going to pick out some colors and maybe use colorful yarn. Usually I put beads and different things on the spine. Let me show you. This was the boho journal I just made, and it has 2 signatures, and when I sewed them in, I put beads on the thread. But I was thinking this time just to use some colorful different threads and put a tassel on the edge. So I need to poke holes. Okay, there's 2 ways of doing this. Poke the holes on the spine, and then poke the holes in the signature, or do it all together. I think that would be too complicated for me. So I'm going to do one thing at a time, and I'm going to put a cardboard underneath, and then I have to clip this down or tape this down. There's my bird clock. It is the Northern Cardinal Oak clock right now. In the morning, I usually don't do any journaling till later in the day, but it's Saturday, and I decided to do this first. No matter how much I measure and plan, it always gets a little wonky. But that's okay. It's a handmade journal. I am not a machine, so I don't expect it to come out perfect. Okay, I'm going to spin this around, tape this side. Now when I do it this way, just to kind of make it match up, I will use each set of holes differently. So for the first signature, I'll use this set of holes. On the second signature, I'll use that set of holes when I poke holes in the signatures. Just in case I didn't do them perfectly, which I never do, but that's okay. So I'm going to show you one or two, but then I'll go ahead and do the rest off camera because there's a lot of holes to make. And I just take my pokey tool and I poke it right through. Make sure it goes all the way through the cardboard and the material. So right in the center of that, push it through. It's so much easier getting this pokey tool through, especially when you're using thick cardboard, than trying to do that with your sewing needle. And if you're using an embroidery needle, it doesn't have, or an upholstery needle, it doesn't have a very big point on it anyway. All right, so I'm going to go off camera and just poke some holes. I'm going to make this one my first signature because it says December. So I'm going to put the truck somewhere else, even though I love the picture of the truck. But okay, what I have to do is make sure that I've lined these up correctly. Put some clips to hold it. Okay, I need my template top. Make sure it's on the top. Make sure I've got all my pages facing the right way. This is the first signature. So I want to get this lined up right in that spot there. This is a little bigger than the signature. Alright, we'll just line it up with the top. The bottom doesn't matter too much, as long as it fits on there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I think that's right. Now I want to make sure I'm going through the middle. Yep. Okay, well, that one went well. Then I want to make the holes in the same place. Okay, that one looks good. Oh, that one went very easily. That one felt like it was off a little bit. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to take that off. I'll put the clip back on to hold it while I sew. Okay, I'm going to go pick out some thread. I think I'm going to go with multicolor. And I tried to choose a light green and a dark green and the blue and of course the red. And I'm going to use this kind of golden yellow for the gold. And put it in this order. And, well, do I have a darker red? Let's see. This is kind of a purple red. It's a little too purple. Alright, these are the colors I'm going to go with. This is my color palette. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my cover is the right side up. And my first signature is the right side up. And I'm going to have the strings on the outside, I think. We'll start on the outside. The first one is right there. I think I'll leave that dangle about halfway down. See what I got left here. I am not very good at this. I've only made a few journals. I don't do like a journal every week. So I am probably not the one you want to watch do this, but I'm going to show you how I put in the first signature. Okay, now we got to go through this one. And back up. Once you get a couple stitches in, it's easier. It doesn't move around so much. I guess I could clip it down, but I want to make sure I'm in the right hole. Okay, I'm going to pull that nice and tight. Now I'll go back up. Gotta make sure I'm coming up in the same place. Oh, that went through in a different place. There we go. Close enough. Oops, hit the light. Gonna go in the same hole here. This book is too big. Put under the camera. Come on, get in there. Sorry, I had to move it. I can't see. No, it's not under the camera. There we go. I'm caught on the clip. Stand by. Okay. Now what I do is pull that tight. Make sure that's all tight, nice and neat in a row. Pull this, make sure those are all tight. I feel like that one could be tighter. Okay, that's probably good enough. I don't like wobbly signatures. Don't like wobbly signatures. Now make sure that's nice and tight. And then, that's nice and tight. I am just going to loop this around like this. Make a knot. Put this back on the outside. Can you see that? Yeah, you see that. All right, pull that tight again. And I want to just tie this off. Three knots, because that's the magic number. Looks like this one got a little loose already. I don't know what I can do about that now. Okay, what I did was just take the knot out, pull it a little tighter, and knot it again on the outside here. I wonder if I should have gone under this stitch here. Put one more knot. Okay, hopefully this stays tight. All right, that is one signature, and now I'll go off camera because this is very awkward trying to get this under the camera, and I'll come back to show you the finished product. Mamma mia, what a project that was. If you really want to learn how to make a journal, you should probably go find somebody that can sew straight. But here's my colorful spine, and I got a little crooked there, and this, I don't know, like the yellow is perfect, the blue is perfect, the red is perfect, but both of the greens went a little bit wonky, but I'm not going to worry about that. I left some strings hanging, and I'll probably decorate the spine after I finish the journal, unless I come up with a really good idea that I want to work on right away. And the book is a little empty right now. When it's full, hopefully it'll be, you know, like that. So, here's what the 5 signatures look like on the inside. There's a little space there, but not as much as before. Got the colorful embroidery threads in the center of each signature. There's the blue, the red, and the green. I just remembered I was going to do one more thing after I put the spine on. I wanted to put the lace across the top. So, let me cut this to size. See, it's going to be awkward because it's going to be hard to work on this. I have to raise my camera up because it's so big. Okay, I am just going to put some glue on this and then I'll be back. Well, I think I've created a monster. Look how big this is. It's gonna take me forever to fill this puppy up. Okay, well, there you have it. The front. And I wanted the white lace because I wanted it red, white, and blue for July, and I wanted it red and green for Christmas. Same thing on the back, red, white, and blue, and red and green for Christmas. And the inside, and my signatures, and I can't wait to get started to do some journaling in here. Man, do you think I'm going to be able to fill this up? I hope so. So you'll have to come back and find out. So happy junk journaling, everybody. Thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye now.